The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. This is the United Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Quirky Dog Podcast, inspired by some of the quirkiest dogs you can ever imagine and the owners who love them. This podcast is brought to you by the quirky couple themselves, Scott and Jess Williams. Their aim is to educate and entertain. Here's Scott and Jess.
Welcome, guys, and thank you for joining us today. Happy Wednesday. We are just cruising right through December, almost to 2021. We couldn't be more excited.
What's the rush? There's so many good things happening this year.
I'm ready to just move on from 2020. So we have a very special guest here today. It is actually our personal dog's vet. Her name is Dr. Shawna Chag, and we're very happy to have her here with us. We're going to be discussing a bit of COVID vet times, because this has been going on a little longer than we thought. Like March, it was like, all right, change protocol, and now all of a sudden it's a new way of living. But first, as always, we're going to start with the quirky tip of the day. You want to be my pig
I'd love
handler?
to.
All right, you are.
By the way, it took us like 10 years to find Dr. Shag.
I know. There was a point in time in my life where
and then she was on double secret probation for about a year and a half.
No. But we had like 3 months there where I didn't have like a go-to vet, and I was freaking the heck out. But my quirky tip of the day actually is, if you live in like northern New Hampshire, or not northern Mass, southern New Hampshire, southern Maine. If you do live there, she is Chief of Staff of Health and Wellness.
I would travel as far as Connecticut.
I would. We travel now 45 minutes to see her. But yeah, if you live near there, Hampton Falls, New Hampshire, that is her practice, and we are absolutely thrilled with it. So thank you for being on. Welcome. Happy Wednesday.
Hi. Thanks for having me on.
And free refrigerator magnet. Go ahead.
No, it is. I'm very happy that we found you guys, and we were talking briefly before the show. But COVID vet business, what's life like? Like, how has it been?
It's been crazy, insane. Like, we're seeing more patients now than we ever did.
What do you think that's from? Like, what is that attributed to?
Well, I think part of it is people are home more, so they're like paying attention to their animals.
They stare at the dog until it's sick.
Yeah, I mean, we used to see that a lot, like on like rainy days or snowy days. We'd actually get an influx because people like would be home and like look at their pet and be like, "Oh, how long has that been going?"
Yeah,
he's been missing
and
a toe
for
3 weeks.
Yeah, well, and also I think we're all kind of like erring a little maybe towards the fatalist side of our thinking. So then like worry is easier to like come into your life and surge into your life with anything. So
I mean, the other thing is people like to control stuff. I know how you are. And we can't control what's going on in the world, but we can get our damn vaccinations up current if we need to.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people adopted animals.
Yeah, that's true. Which is a good thing.
I mean, yeah, it's great. And I'm hoping that doesn't backfire.
Yeah.
Because people are like, "Oh, I'm home. I'll just get a dog." And it's like, well, you're going to have this dog for a while. It's not just during COVID. So you eventually will go back to work. Make sure you're doing, training, that you're leaving the dog home. Yeah. That you're like giving it space, so that way it doesn't have extreme separation anxiety. So I'm hoping that won't be like an influx once things do return to normal.
Yeah. But see, you're erring on the side of worry. So we got to just think that it's all going to go great.
All I do is worry.
Because in our profession, we know that everything always goes great with dogs and owners. No issues ever.
Just stock up on that psychiatric medication.
And you'll be all set.
That's right. Yeah. Better living through pharmaceuticals.
Exactly.
That's how it goes.
That's the motto moving forward. So what is the deal with the protocols and how everything goes? I know like normally it's curbside only, right?
Yeah, for our practice, it is. There's a few practices out there that I guess are letting in like one client at a time. And, but for our practice, basically, you call, you make an appointment, and we send you an email that kind of has the check-in questions. Okay. And that's hopefully to just streamline the check-in process. So it's not, now you're on the phone and it's making it longer. Yeah. So, and then you can email that back to us. Then you show up at your appointment time, you park in a designated, spot number, and you call, and then we do like a brief little check-in of like, what's the best number to reach you at? What spot are you in? What make and model of your car? Has anybody in your household been sick? and, and then we'll have a technician either get on the phone with you right away or call you right back to then check you in fully, meet you at the door. We actually have little vestibules, so it's a double door system because we were right on Route 1.
Yeah.
And that was a bit of a learning curve. The handoff between the owners.
Okay.
So I try to, some people get a little lax about it, but I'm like, no, they need to actually step into the vestibule, close the door.
Yeah.
Then you step in, hand off, and then leave.
Okay.
Versus the outside handoff, which can
get a little hairy.
Mm.
Yeah. We know about those handoffs. So it's kind of like ordering at Sonic now, but you're at the vet. It's like a whole new thing. You have your own spot, everything else. So are people following protocols? Are they being good?
I would say probably, 97% of people, they're just
pretty good.
It's just part of life, and that's it. Occasionally we get a few that try to push the envelope a bit of, well, I can go into my library, I can go into the restaurant.
Yeah.
Why can't I go into my vet? And, it's hard because, most vet offices, the rooms are enclosed. There's no ventilation.
Yeah.
And they're usually like a 2x2 room. They're very small. Mm-hmm. And so there is no way to actually have 6 feet of distance.
Yeah. With you touching the dog and them holding the dog or however it's going to work.
Yeah. And again, it's impossible for me and my staff to always be 6 feet apart.
Yeah.
They're going to have to help, restrain the dog or something for me to do the exam, draw blood. And so we're going to be close together. So if the owner's insisting that they have to hold the dog as well, now that distance is nothing in an unenclosed space. And so it just makes things
a little bit
more risky.
Yeah. What's going on with euthanasia?
Oh, that's the hardest part. The euthanasia.
Yeah.
What's new? Something new going on with that?
Well, normally, you euthanize a dog in the vet's office. I thought that was a pretty,
you mean people can't
smooth,
go with, right.
Yeah,
Hit the hand
that
off.
was a pretty obvious question.
And that's been, that's been the only exception that we've had is that we do have one room
right by the back
we
door.
Have a side door.
Yeah, so it's right there. It's easier.
So they come and they have to be wearing masks. I was allowing just one person in, but I kind of was like, okay, well, 2 people.
Yeah.
That's it. If it's a bigger family, then we were setting up a tent area or something outside for them. But as the weather's turning, I don't know how that's going to work. Yeah. That's why we were trying to think of other ways to use our waiting room area with dividers and things like that for bigger groups to come in. But it's been hard to order those dividers because everybody's ordering dividers.
It's all a new time, huh?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's just I just can't win. It's you got to be 2 months ahead of the curve. Yeah. Otherwise you're not going to do anything.
Otherwise you're way behind. How is it going? You have girls at home too. Are they at home for school? What's that like?
So my school is amazing. They really took the time to come up with a real good plan for in-building learning.
Good.
It was basically you had a choice of doing all virtual or all in school. And they hired more teachers. They created classrooms. These kids are in a class of 11.
That's
all
great.
Over, and they stay in their little pods. Even when they're on the playground, they're segregated. Everybody wears masks. Doesn't matter if you're a kindergartner or the staff members. You're masked all the time. And then as far as food preparation, they actually outsourced it to, it's a really good company, and they deliver the food. So it's made in a controlled facility and then delivered in all these prepackaged containers.
Oh my gosh,
if they
perfect.
order the school lunch.
So they get to see everybody and they're happy and they go 5 days a week and it works out.
Yeah. I mean, it's my biggest concern was with my oldest daughter who's in 4th grade. I was like, it's going to be good, but not good because her best friend is in another classroom. So she can't interact with her. She can't see her. She can't play with her on the playground. And so that has come up a couple of times, but we've tried to get together with them in a safe way outside of school.
Yeah. It's like you guys at the office with your teams. Everybody at school has their teams.
That's right.
It's like we're all back to school.
Well, I think kids need to learn to suffer early.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, just like you to really build that resilience, and it really works out great. All right, we're going to go to break super quick, and then when we get back, we're going to discuss more about COVID vet times, and I want to talk about your running too, because you're like a badass marathon runner. I won't make you demo. I won't make you demo anything. Enough to have the bumper sticker on your car. All right, we'll see you after Coranda.
That's all I wanted.
What makes Coranda beds chew-proof? Only Coranda beds have a patented design which secures the fabric inside the frame, making it totally inaccessible to jaws and paws. Your dog can't chew the fabric because we've hidden the edges inside the rails. Dogs love Coranda beds. See why? Coranda beds come in a variety of custom sizes. You can even add a fleece pad on top for extra coziness. And these beds can be used both indoors and outdoors. But best of all, our beds are easy to clean. Just wipe them off or hose them down. Visit dogbed.us/thequirkydog for more details.
I'm getting crushed walnut shells.
Oh, your cigar you're smoking? Scott's going to be on the Cigar Authority Saturday, so they're all chatting about their ins and outs of that. I have to do my Oprah's favorite things, too, because I almost forgot. So we're going to do this the week of Christmas, and for all our Patreon supporters, and this week that I'm going to be giving away as our Oprah's favorite things on that podcast.
She used it on her boyfriend there. What's his name?
The Travel Calm. What are you talking about?
Boyfriend?
Stedman. Oh, yeah, she uses this for Stedman. She doesn't. This is for dogs. Spray it on the dogs, near the ears or whatever, before you go on a ride if they get anxious traveling. Okay, so I want to chat about your running. Have you done any virtual runs or anything?
I had signed up for like two different half marathons and everything before, and then those all went virtual.
Yeah.
And so I did one virtual half marathon, and it was not pretty because, trying to map out a course that you can do safely in distance from everybody else, and also okay, are you going to stash water and food snacks along the route, or are you going to run back to your car? So I tried running back to my car, switching out my water bottles so that I could have enough fluids to get through. It was not pretty.
Oh my gosh.
So I didn't do the second virtual half marathon. I was like, I'll wait a little bit.
Yeah, you should have hit your husband and your daughters off at different checkpoints, and they could have been giving water and snacks and whatever else they give. I don't know. I've never done.
You should have just put on the virtual glasses and just stayed home and watched the run.
That's kind of what I do now. And so, it kind of got a little bad there for, March, and, the COVID-15 started coming on. And
it's not as energy providing, it seems, to do these bike races and these runs. I mean, not that I'm a runner, please, but part of it is y'all get together and you're all on the line, and we're all feeling it, and you can't be the
we're
loser.
All crazy.
Yeah,
together.
And at the turkey trot, you're not going to be the only one that walks off the line. You're at least going to try early on. And if it's just you, it's kind of we just got rid of our gym membership.
Well, my running started off strong in March. When the gym got shut down, I started running a lot because I was already in good shape. But then slowly it just started chipping away. Now I'm eating giant 1-pound bars of chocolate
with melted peppermint marshmallows on them. Oh my gosh,
that's where I'm at now. Yeah.
All right. So we know about you and your practice and vetting, and that's why we, choose you for our dogs and their safety. What have you seen as far as COVID cases? Are there different issues? Are there more of one issue? Is it all the same crap? What kind of stuff are you guys seeing in the vet's office with all of this?
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing, standard, vaccination, annual appointments, wellness, blood work, things like that. But we actually had to change our schedule around to be able to accommodate, because we do get a ton of sick, calls.
Yeah.
And so pretty much our appointment schedule, we're each doctor has a couple of appointments in the morning and the afternoon that you can make in advance. And the rest are blocked off for day of emergencies,
which is happening.
They will all get filled.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Before 10 o'clock.
And is that unusual, or is that just Hashtag 2020 or what is people being home, dogs are
until February right now.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I have a question before we get off here, and I'm just wondering if it seems as though there's been a national conspiracy among the veterinary industry to turn their individual practices into profit monsters. Now, is there any kind of has there been seminars for veterinarians? Because they're all expanding massively with their buildings. They're doing big expansion. There's one vet's turning into 6 vets at one location. It's really turning into a real business, you know? It's different than it was 10 years ago, in my opinion.
Well, yeah. And 10 years ago, even 20 years ago, you had...
And the vets didn't run marathons either. They worked. They were all... Go ahead.
Yeah, it's, I would love it if I had, multiple vets. Right now we have 3 full-time vets. And, I'd love to add another vet just, again, to just get different people's ideas. And, everybody, as you know, kind of bonds with a different type of person, and so it's nice to have different people in your office that way, somebody likes this type of style of veterinary care versus that.
Yeah. Going everywhere.
But, as far as like these mammoth hospitals, I've always worked in hospitals where there's usually 2 or 3 vets at most. I do per diem work at a local emergency clinic as well. So, that's a little bit different.
Yeah. Well, one of the reasons we picked you is you didn't already have a bronze sculpture out in front of your vet's office. We have paid for a lot of we have literally put a lot of bronze sculptures in front of vet's office. And Scott says this just more so from a roofing perspective, because he used to be a roofing contractor. And obviously, like in any business, in any profession, you go to conferences, there's ways to make money. And that's part of the reason we're in the profession. But there has been a stark change with certain things over time. And your practice, at least, obviously it is, there to help animals and to make money, but you do still have a holistic enough approach that I don't feel like every time I see you, I lost $1,500 and I don't know where it went or why.
No. And I've always, practiced, I was taught by some very great professors. And, one of my favorite quotes was if you do a test to change something, you don't just do test to do test. And then what are you going to do with that? Yeah. You really have to do the physical exam, take the history, listen to people, so that way you can get an idea of okay, what could I do that would actually help the situation versus let's just do some blood work or let's just do this. Yeah. Because, and that's how I've always practiced.
Some of it could be too, you just have strong intuition also and, a lot of hands on the job experience. But it is something we see a lot with our clients. We'll look at them and we'll be like, oh my God, you just paid $6,000 for a spay? That's a lot of money. Just weird things come up where we're like, whoa, that didn't seem to be how it used to be.
Yeah. And, if you interview a lot of veterinarians and see what kind of cars they drive and where they live, it's obvious we're not making a lot of money.
We're not all in the same boat. Yeah. All right. No. So what about for people listening, because people listen pretty much all over the country and sometimes all over the world, what can we do as patients to make it easier for you guys? Because the times of COVID are not over. And now we're going into really dark times where everybody's numbers are going up and it's cold and it's slippery and it's harder to get dogs out and around. So what can we do as dog owners, cat owners, animal owners to make your lives better over these next few months?
Filling out the free check-in really streamlines things. Just being patient. We certainly understand, with curbside, okay, you can drop your animal off. You can go run an errand, do something else, and I can call you on your cell phone. And, so that way you're not just sitting out in your car with it running. And we've had to jump a few people with their car batteries.
You're like mechanics and vets now.
So we're really good at that too. And bring your phone charger with you. Yeah. Make sure your phone is charged. Don't have another conversation on the phone while I'm trying to call you.
Yeah. Don't ignore my call while I'm calling about your animal while you're waiting outside my office. Yeah.
Yes, that happens a lot too. And just, our biggest across the board, and all my friends that are in the middle of this as well, and we're all dealing with the same thing, is just be nice. Yeah. We're trying to help you, and we really take it to heart. It's stressful for us. We get anxious. We don't like running behind either. And, so just realize that we're all in the same boat, and open communication is the best.
Yeah. The be nice one could even expand beyond the vet world. Just maybe we all try that.
That would be worthy of a discount.
Be nice. Just follow the rules. Be nice.
Even at the grocery store. Just be nice wherever you are. Just try it out. Might feel good. Who knows? All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I know it's been a busy season for you, so we appreciate you taking time out of your day. And good luck. It's been a go of this. We haven't seen you much during all of it, but I know. I guess that's
I try to get outside every once in a while just to,
act like a normal
see
person.
People, because I'm like, I haven't seen this person in forever. And
well, we got to see you on the screen, and you look great.
Yeah.
So we're excited about that. If you need us, studio at thequirkydog.com. Check out the URL for health and wellness in the description. And guys, have a great week. We'll see you next Wednesday.
Thanks, Dr. Chag. Right. Good to see you.
Keep it quirky.
All right, take care, guys.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.